Hey everyone, welcome to Breaking Down the Short. This is going to be about diving in deep in the making of a short film. The first Breaking Down the Short is about Aaron's big opportunity.
Still pursuing theater. That's cool.
Now this is a short that I co-wrote with Jimmy Falley. I directed, filmed, and edited. The basic premise is Aaron is $180,000 in debt because of his MFA degree in theater and has never been paid $1 to act. Kind of a sad story, but kind of heartwarming too if you really get to know the character. So we're gonna talk about Aaron's big opportunity. We're gonna dive in deep. I'm gonna tell you about the details, tell you about some of the technical aspects we used. So sit back, relax, and let's break down the short. The idea of Aaron was rooted a year ago when Jimmy thought of the Aaron character. And we shot the first one, and the first one was hilarious, did great, and had a really funny concept to it.
So after 3 years of grad school, I left with a head full of knowledge on acting, some lifelong friends, and a lot of skills that gave me an edge up on the competition on how to succeed in this crazy biz. And I had $114,000 of debt.
Obviously we had the base character, we had the world, we had the reality, but I thought a kind of a twist with the unemployment and the EDD benefits and diving into what this guy's been up to during the pandemic would be kind of interesting to see. I wanted to revisit this character because there's aspects of Aaron that I connect with, and I think there's a lot of aspects of Aaron everyone connects with. If you're ever uncertain about something you want to do in life, or you have dreams that you want to achieve, or honestly any actor, model, creator in LA, I feel like has to relate to Aaron because we all have studied things that we probably shouldn't have put money into, but we still did anyways. So I think Aaron kind of gets at the root of all that, and it really shows you like a mirror to a slice of who you are. Jimmy punched it up, and then he sent it to me, and then I had some ideas of how we could flesh it out. And we kind of went from there until we had the final product. And then at that point, once we had that final script, we just kind of planned the dates for the shoot. And then it more or less was me and him. He had to get the acting class. And Drew Talbot, who's hilarious, who plays the unemployment rep. And then we just kind of had to plan it around that day. For this project, I used my Sony a7 III. I actually used a myriad of lenses throughout the short. I used a Sigma 24mm, a Sigma 50mm, and my Sony 24-105, which I actually just did a video on about why I love it so much. And this video, An Aaron's Big Opportunity, is a good example of why I love it so much. It gave me a lot of versatility. The Sigma 50 is the one I used mainly in Aaron's bedroom when he's talking to the camera or the computer, which you find out. That allowed me to give a really shallow depth of field behind Aaron. I wanted you to focus on Aaron. So I really tried to give him a shallow depth of field behind him, which I think added to a little bit of the dramatic tone of it. Obviously, he's a very goofy and silly character, but I think that added to make it a little bit more dramatic and a little more like heavy. So when I was outside filming Jimmy on the streets to get kind of the B-roll over the voiceover, I used the 24mm Sigma, I used the zoom lens, 24-105, with the ND filter on both. It was really nice. We actually filmed during magic hour between like 4:30 to 5:30 in Los Angeles. So the colors of the sky and the colors on Jimmy's face were nice and even and really kind of like that orange, crisp California feel. And while I was outside, the shots are very steady. I used my Xeon gimbal that I've used on a few different shorts that I've talked about before, and I used a tripod outside, which generally, if you've watched my stuff, you know that I do a lot of handheld equipment. But I kind of liked it for this one using a tripod because it allowed me to keep the shots nice and steady. It created more of an artistic feel, more of a dramatic tone. Really allowed you to focus in on kind of Aaron's like dreary life essentially at this point. We had to schedule a Zoom meeting with the class. So I think we shot about 30 to 40 minutes with the class. And I really only used like a minute of it, if that. So there is so much footage left over of the class that's so funny, but we just like couldn't use it. Drew's coverage took probably like an hour. We shot like 3 or 4 takes. And what I was doing with that was I was filming Jimmy from the side. We obviously filmed the screen of the Zoom. And for Drew recorded his audio separate with a Zoom mic, which I've talked about before, where it's a separate audio recorder, and then I recorded Jimmy's audio with a Zoom mic. So both people were recording audio while I had the camera and I was recording the computer screen. So that gave me, what is that, gave me 2 shots, 2 angles of Jimmy. Obviously with Drew, I could really only get 1 angle, but I think that worked for it because you don't really need to get the personal side of who the EDD rep is. You just really want to know what Aaron's thinking, what Aaron's going through. And with the clean audio, that allowed me to, audio is so important that if you can get clean audio, I highly recommend it. That I think you notice, but you may not notice that it's creating that tension because it's so silent and because it's so clean. And because of those separate audio tracks is what allowed me to do that.
Yeah. The pandemic, it hit me pretty hard. You know what I mean?
You were making even less the year before. 2019, it says you made $9,000. And, I just have to ask, how do you live off that?
Well, the truth is, when you have a big imagination and an old book of Chekhov plays lying around.
Locations-wise, it was relatively easy. I mean, for anything outside, it was literally just on my street. And then everything else was just my apartment. That was my fridge. And then someone did key in on the little piece of lettuce on the door. Did I plant that? Was it there? I'm gonna leave that open to your interpretation, but I have a tortoise and he eats lettuce. So I got a lot of lettuce coming in and out of that fridge. The tortoise, that's my tortoise. His name's Jacob. He's 11 years old. His name's not Annabelle, and he's not 51. But I thought he did a great job and really participated well in the short. It was funny, Jimmy was actually really creeped out by it. So there's a scene where Jimmy's about to touch it, and then he gets like super spooked by it. He just like poke his like back leg. He won't get hurt. Are you joking? So my favorite scene in this short is when Aaron pretty much cripples in himself, realizing that maybe his graduate degree may never make him much money.
Now there's talk of them shaving off some student loan money. Can you verify any of that? I wouldn't hate that because, from when I went to grad school, I had $180,000 of debt, I'm over here thinking, damn, I wasted 180 grand studying something that you can't even make money off of.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it will. Here's the deal. You've exhausted your EDD, okay? And I can't give you what you were getting before.
So in this sketch, we wanted to really end it like on a glimmer of hope because he's got the news. We ended it on, where it was kind of open-ended.
But I can give you 65 a week.
A week?
You don't know that he is happy or sad about getting the $65 a week. And then we cut to his budget board. And realize that it is something he's happy about and it is something he's hopeful about. And it does give him like a little sliver of hope every week to get a little pocket change. Yeah, $65 might not be a lot to some people, but to others, $65 a week can really be a whole boost to their lives. And I think we see that here with Aaron is that he needed anything. He needed someone to kind of give him a little helping hand. And even by this EDD agent giving him an extra $65, it really helped him out. And then we added the little smiley face at the end, which...
But at the end of the day, what's really important? I mean, take me for example. I'm not super successful, rich, or famous. But you could never say that I'm not happy.
I feel like Aaron's the type of character that doodles. Here, Aaron doodles a little happy face. And yeah, that's kind of cheesy. But we all do it. We all draw little like faces here and there. We all doodle when we're on the phone. And it really stems to the ending line where it doesn't matter what you're struggling with, what you're going through. It's all about perspective. His perspective in his life is that he's happy and that he's pushing through all these perceived failures and these perceived slights in his life, but he's still happy. I think that's the thing, what's important here is that people look at others and they think, oh, if I was in their shoes, then I would be miserable. Oh, look at his apartment. That apartment sucks. Oh, look at that guy's outfit. That outfit sucks. Oh, look what that guy does for a living. That sounds like it really isn't good. But if they're happy doing it, if they're happy wearing those clothes, if they're happy living there, then what's it really matter? You know, what's the importance of life if you don't enjoy what you're doing? And I think in this case, Aaron enjoys his drive and his passion to be an actor. And yes, it's very silly at times, and yes, he's a little goofy, and yes, he may not be the most talented person as an actor at all, but I think what's important is that he is happy in the long run, and he seems to be at the end here. So this short, I think, turned out great. I was really happy with the response with it, with folks commenting on Jimmy's Instagram and on his YouTube. The message is there that, you know, you don't need to view happiness on the outside, you need to view happiness within. And I think with Aaron, we really see that, and we really see him like push through at the end, where there is that glimmer of hope. After watching this, be sure to check out the full thing on Jimmy's channel if you haven't already. Let me know if you have any questions about our decisions with this short or how we went about it. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. You know, if you want to comment on here to tell me what you thought of it. If I think of anything else, I'll write it in the info below. But thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to watch more behind the scenes content. And be sure to stay tuned for the next video.